Welcome to Take the Word at its word. Today I will attempt to describe the size of God, but I will fail. To understand that you could never understand how big God is would be the end of all fear and the securement of all faith. Let's take a look at just one small thing He made, the universe. We live in a home, which is in a street, which is in a town, which is in a city, which is in a country, which is in a continent, which is in the world, the earth, which is in the solar system, which is in the Milky Way galaxy. And that's as far as our human exploration can take us. So what is space? Space is space, a vacuum. There is no air, no one can hear you scream in space because sound waves cannot travel through a vacuum. There is a shell of air about 100 kilometers beyond our Earth, and beyond that it is the beginning of outer space, where there is no air to scatter sunlight and produce blue sky. So space appears as a black blanket dotted with stars and with no end. Space is huge. One cannot imagine the distances involved even between the objects in our solar system. But God's not done. The distance between the Earth and the Sun is 150 million kilometers apart. The next nearest star to our solar system is 38 trillion. That's 38 plus 12 zeros to follow kilometers away. It would take a spacecraft 75,000 years to get there. It takes light about 4.2 years to travel from our solar system to the next nearest star, and that's moving at approximately 671 million miles per hour. And that's just to our next nearest star. But God's not done. The space in between galaxies and stars contains scattered particles of dust and hydrogen atoms per cubic centimeter, radiation, light and heat, magnetic fields and high-energy particles, cosmic rays, much of which comes from the sun, and some high-energy X-rays, gamma rays and cosmic rays that arrive from distant stars. The nearest galaxy to our galaxy, which is the Milky Way, is about 2.5 million light years away. And that's just the nearest galaxy to ours. There are billions of other galaxies, all packed with stars that are thousands of times further away. Space is huge, incomprehensibly huge, immeasurably huge. I wouldn't try and imagine the size. But this is what exceeding abundantly above all we can ask or think may look like. And we still haven't begun to touch upon God's creation, because God's not done. Matter. What is matter? Everything we can see, touch and smell, made from atoms and also forms stars and planets. Only about 15% of the universe is made of atoms. The rest is dark matter. Only God knows what dark matter is. Scientific instruments have failed to detect it, for dark matter does not emit, reflect or absorb light. The universe. A collection of living things, planets, stars, galaxies, dust clouds, light and even time. The universe contains billions of galaxies, and galaxies contain billions of stars. But God's not done. Speed of light. approximately 300,000 kilometers or 186,500 miles per second. Light travels in 1 year 9 trillion kilometers. That's approximately 5.6 billion miles. This is called the light year. So light travels about 16 million miles per day at 671 million miles per hour. And the visible universe is about 93 billion light years across. That's 9 trillion times 93 billion to estimate the mileage across what we can see of the universe. But God's not done. It would take a modern jet fighter 1 million years to reach the nearest star to the Sun. It would take 100,000 years to cross the Milky Way galaxy alone. This is only what man can see. We have no idea how much more of God's expanse exists. And God can fit this immeasurable universe in the span of his hands. How big is your problem? How big is God? Over time, the universe has expanded outward at a very high rate. The area of space we now see is billions of times bigger than before, and the distance between galaxies have moved further apart as the space between them expands. But God's not done. Black holes, the strangest phenomenon, where matter has collapsed in on itself. This cataclysmic collapse results in huge amounts of matter highly concentrated in one area. The gravitational pull is so strong that nothing can escape it, not even light. Black holes can be several times bigger than the Sun and billions of times heavier. Most galaxies have supermassive black holes at their centers. But God's not done. The solar system consists of our star, the Sun, and everything bound to it by gravity. The planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, the dwarf planets such as Pluto, and dozens of moons, millions of asteroids, comets, and meteoroids. Beyond our solar system, we have discovered thousands of planetary systems orbiting other stars in the Milky Way. A further study of each individual planet would leave you awestruck. But God's not done. The Sun. It's a dwarf star, the only star in our solar system. The stars beyond our galaxy are many, many times bigger. The Sun's temperatures tops 27 million degrees Fahrenheit. Do you know how hot that is? Neither do I. It's the largest object in our solar system and will take 1.3 million Earths to fill it. Its gravitational pull holds the entire solar system in place, from the largest planet to the smallest particle of debris. It is 93 million miles from the Earth, yet we use its energy to power practically our entire existence. Life without the Sun is impossible. A naked ray of sun can scorch our skin and set trees alight with just its basic energy from 93 million miles away. It's incomprehensible. But God's not done. The moon. There are more than 200 moons in our solar system, known as natural satellites that orbit planets and asteroids in our solar system. They come in varying shapes and sizes and have atmospheres and even oceans beneath their surface. Apart from Mercury and Venus, most of the other planets and asteroids have moons orbiting them, with Saturn and Jupiter having 80 plus moons. But God's not done. The stars, huge celestial bodies of mainly hydrogen and helium, producing light and heat from churning nuclear forges from inside their core. Only God knows where they got Twinkle Twinkle Little Star from. Aside from our sun, the dots of light in the sky are all light years from the earth. Huge gargantuan celestial bodies, and they appear as tiny dots to us here on earth. How vast is this universe? Yet it is like a grain of sand to God. More extraordinarily, a star is what God used to lead the wise men to Jesus, the newborn. How do you follow a star? It's so far above that any direction you walk in, you'd appear to be following it. It is impossible to know how many stars exist. Astronomers estimate in our Milky Way galaxy alone there are approximately 300 billion stars. Now remember, there are billions of galaxies too, each with billions of stars. Still, God's not done, and we are nowhere near the end. God made it all, folks, effortlessly. We cannot begin to even compute his power, but know this, it is certainly bigger than outwardly explained. I believe that there is one thing that is impossible. It is the ability to accurately describe the size of God. I set out knowing I would fail, but I did succeed to do exactly what I intended, to demonstrate that even if we were to exercise the size of our God, we still would not have enough capacity to grasp how big God is. So at least know this, he is bigger than your situation. And we wonder whether he can heal us, repair broken relationships, bring financial abundance, help with that challenging child, enable that promotion or job, show favor for that venture or business, buy that property. We wonder if he can destroy cancer, restore that kidney, cure that addiction, deliver from depression, fix that marriage, bring that spouse, cover those bills, pay those school fees. You and his willing ability, then believe God. Believe what he says. And he says, do not worry and say, what will we eat, or what will we drink, or what will we wear? That's what these people who don't know God are always thinking about. Don't worry, because your Father in heaven knows you need all these things. What you should want most is God's kingdom and doing what he wants you to do. Then he will give you all these other things you need. Matthew chapter 6, verse 31 to 33. I'm just trying to get you to fathom how unfathomable our God is. So you think he can't explain and will never be, and not want his best for his most favored creation? You? We were his only creation that he considered very good. Look at the precision and perfection and complexity with which God created his universe. Yet, in all its glory, it was not created in his image. You are his favorite. You are his best. And there is nothing you can do about it. It is his power that lives in you. And if it doesn't, you need it too. God's got you.